Connect. Capitalize. Go.
I remember getting a journal and just writing everything I saw, everything I smelled, everything down. I'm a very visual person, and I just wanted to share with people. And then I remember also buying many disposable cameras. This was about 20 or so years ago.
Yes, I remember those days.
You remember those days? Yeah, so I got disposable cameras and a journal, and I just started writing and taking photos of everything. And, you know, when I went back home, I remember developing those photos and putting together what now I know is a travel journal. And I didn't even know what I was doing, but I guess that's what my purpose was. And ever since then, that has always been inside my heart. My intention was just to share with the public, inform and inspire them of how big this world and how beautiful it really is. And
so age 12, you go on your first trip.
Yeah, so I had written everything down, and I remember just dropping the disposable cameras like at a local store. I don't remember if it was like
I think they were like Walgreens
something.
or something back then, right?
Yeah, yeah, Walgreens or something. And then just getting them developed and then putting them next to the article or whatever I've written. And, you know, since I was a little girl, I was reading the newspaper at the dinner table. So for me, it's always been about communication, whether that's written or spoken. I always want to inform the public. And when I was 12, it was just validated that would be travel. And, you know, I pursued my degree in journalism, and on day one, I told the dean of journalism, I want to be a travel journalist. What do I need to do? And I took many writing classes. I did internships. I did a study abroad. And I moved back to California from Nashville, and I took producing classes for a professional program here in UCLA, all with the intention to be a contributor to the travel industry, whether that was in the creativity as a producer or as talent or as a reporter. It's always been my intention. However, I did get a little distracted with my first job in sports. You know, while I was taking classes, I ended up getting a part-time job at Fox Sports, and it just, you know, grew. And then
did it kind of take away? It made you kind of forget about what you were doing in the entrepreneurial world.
Yeah, I got distracted. I finished my producing classes. However, I was asked to go work more with sports. I like sports, especially soccer, so it wasn't too bad. But again, I kind of got lost in the security of a safe, you know, income, and you know, so I just fell into the safety net, I guess, and I put my passions on the back burner, and I said, okay, well, you know, this is a great job. I should just, you know, work here for now. And 3 years later, I was still there. And I remember just saying, you know what, I'm going to talk to my supervisor and ask, you know, what's the next step and how long will it take? And he told me about 5 years for me to get a promotion. Yeah.
We're talking to,
and I said, okay.
We're talking to Jeannette Ceja right here on Network Master. Visit the website and use those social share icons to share this audio with your family, friends, your network. Now, Jeannette, you had the business, you had the dream, you got a job. Your boss says if you want to move up to the next step, it's going to take you another 5 years. Tell us that next word that came out of your mouth.
So I can sit here and do my best for 5 years in the hopes of being promoted, or I can go and travel and just try to do what I love. And then, you know, sometimes I think, what a lot of people experience is one fear, either fear of success or fear of failure. I had failed plenty of times. Failure has never been an obstacle because I always learn from the experience and I grow. But I had the fear of success. I had fear of, oh my gosh, I can do what I love and make money and I could do this. I was like, that's too good to be true. And then I had people with well-intentions, but that would always say, oh, you have a good job, you should stay there, be realistic, like how can you travel and get paid for it? And, at the time, I let the beliefs or limitations of other people overpower my own. I said no more, and I made a 6-month plan to move to Italy. But I didn't tell anyone because I didn't want anyone to convince me otherwise.
Now, that's the part I like about your plan. We're talking to Jeannette Ceja right here on Network Master. Visit the website, networkmaster.live. Use those social share icons. Share this interview with Jeannette. Now, Jeannette, you didn't tell anybody because you knew you had people, although they loved you, they would have tried to talk you out of it. So not only were you going to make a career move, you were making a country move. Tell us how you pulled it off.
So I decided not to tell anyone. I started saving every month or every paycheck. And then about a month before, I said, okay, I have this much saved. What else do I need to do to get more money? And I said, oh, okay, I'll just sell my car. And then with my savings, and I gave my work a 30-day notice, and then my roommate at the time a 30-day notice. And 2 weeks before, I remember telling my family, I sacrificed my car, my furniture, my job, and I bought a one-way ticket to Italy.
Wow.
To Rome, and I got an Airbnb for 4 months. So I was going to give myself at least 4 months.
A go-getter attitude right there. That is a go-getter attitude. Sold your car, left the country, stayed in somebody else's house for 4 months that you didn't know, by the way. So need I ask, when it comes to making decisions, are you more of a results-oriented person or are you more of a detail-oriented person?
I'm more of a results, I guess you could say. I'm definitely a visionary. And I'm also an optimist. So I like to I'm always an optimist, so I always see opportunity instead of risk. And if there is a risk or if there is a failure, then I always learn and I take that as a positive.
Gotcha. Speaking of decisions, right?
Yeah.
And I think I may know the answer to this question. Are you more of a person who makes a decision based on gut instinct or committee?
I think like gut and heart and my passion, and it's intrinsic. It's nothing to do with the outside. It's never been about the money. It's never been about the fame or what can I get or.
We've been talking to Jeannette Ceja right here on Network Master. Jeannette, you've been over 40 countries. Is that not right?
Yeah.
So why don't you give the listeners at least a way to find out more about you and more about your work and your journaling and your blogging and everything? Anyone
can email me. My email is Jeannette, JeanNette @JeannetteReports.com. And my Instagram is JetSet with Jeannette. And again, that's 2 N's. And I'm on Twitter at Jeannette Ceja, JeanNetteCeja. And again, I'm always happy to, if I can help anyone or inspire them or show them that they can travel, because the top 3, they're reasons, but if we really want something, we'll find a way, and if we don't, we'll find an excuse.
That's true.
So the top 3 reasons why I hear people don't travel is time, money, and or a fear of any kind of fear. But I always like to tell people, give me a time frame, like a time and a budget that I can show you. I love to show people that they can travel. It doesn't always have to be international. It doesn't always have to be, luxury. It could be an hour from your home. It can be, even in your own town doing a staycation. Travel, it's so amazing, and anyone can do it. It's just how bad do you want to do it? Taking the time, like anything, and doing it.
Wow.
Going for it.
Sounds great. Jeannette Ceja, thanks so much for taking your time out here on Network Master.
Sure. My My pleasure.